Unit 7, Period 7, Section 11. Previously, we talked about during World War II, the battles that occurred in the European theater. Today, we're going to talk about the battles that occurred in the Pacific theater, specifically the Pacific Ocean. And after Pearl Harbor, the United States had been on the defensive all the way across the Pacific. In fact, the Japanese had taken most of the islands from Japan over to California. One of the last islands left between Japan and California that had not been taken is pictured here, and it was known as the island of Midway. Luckily for the United States, when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our aircraft carriers were not located at Pearl Harbor when the Japanese attacked. So when the Japanese chose to try to take Midway from American forces, they discovered that guarding the island were our aircraft carriers. Here's a picture taken from Japanese warplanes as they attacked the air base at Midway. That was the hope of the Japanese, that if they could take Midway, then they could send airplanes to bomb the United States, and I don't know, but possibly one day invade the United States. The only problem is they ran into our American aircraft carriers. Let's watch a short video on the Battle of Midway.
In June 1942, the Japanese launched a secret plan to capture a U.S. military outpost at the Midway Islands, 1,000 miles from Hawaii. But the U.S. intercepted a secret communication and sent a carrier group to ambush the approaching armada. Japan struck first. Waves of warplanes attacked U.S. forces on the island, inflicting heavy damage. The U.S. responded, sending torpedo planes and dive bombers to attack the Imperial fleet. The first squadron met fierce resistance and suffered tremendous losses. But then, within the space of an hour, the U.S. turned the tide of battle by destroying 3 Japanese aircraft carriers. By late afternoon, Japan was in full retreat. 6 months after Pearl Harbor, the Battle of Midway was a major turning point in the war with Japan.
This is going to allow the United States to begin a new strategy in the Pacific theater, and that is one of island hopping. Island hopping, as shown here in the map, is a genius plan actually by the commander of American forces in the Pacific, known as Douglas MacArthur. And that is that even though the Japanese have a numerical advantage on these islands in the Pacific, what the United States was going to do is attack the smaller islands, the less populated islands, the less defended islands, take them first, build air bases on those islands, then trap the Japanese on the larger islands and bomb them into submission. And the idea is sort of like leapfrog. We're going to leap over the more heavily fortified islands, take the less fortified islands, and head towards Japan, cutting these island supply lines off from the Japanese homeland. And that's what this map shows here. The dark blue lines are the American forces working their way from Pearl Harbor and Midway back across the Pacific towards Japan. This island hopping campaign is going to be very successful, and I want to show a short video on this strategy.
From that point forward, the United States was on the offensive. General MacArthur devised the strategy of island hopping to fight the Japanese in the Pacific. The U.S. would island hop past Japan's heavily defended islands and seize the more easily defeated outposts. There, the United States could build landing strips and employ air power to cut Japan's supply lines. By August 1944, the U.S. was island hopping steadily toward Japan, capturing Guadalcanal, Saipan, Tinian, and Guam. By October, the U.S. Navy reached the Philippines. In the Battle of Leyte Gulf, they fought the Japanese fleet in one of the greatest naval operations in history. The U.S. prevailed. General MacArthur had kept his promise to return.
This is going to lead to the defeat of the Japanese on two of the largest islands before Japan. One of them was Iwo Jima, and there's a famous photograph made of Marines as they captured the island and placed our American flag on its highest mountain on the island. This concludes Unit 7, Period 7, the Section 11, the Pacific Theater.